You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show.
I had this realization the other day when we were talking about, or like when we were getting ready for this, and you were like, okay, so all you have to do is pick a movie. And I was like, oh no. Because like you had heard from it, yeah, I am mostly like a TV show, like procedural, like episodic person. And then when I was like trying to think of movies, I only thought of documentaries, and then I landed on the one that we're going to talk about today because it's like the closest thing to like a slice of life that I could sort of come up with in our in stuff that has like come out recently. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. I really do just kind of gravitate towards stuff that could be real or feels more real versus I think stories that are more otherworldly or supernatural or animated or any of that stuff.
That's where it went.
We looked this up, Kirk and I looked this up at the park because I said it to the Farx recently, that your human eye sees more shades of green than any other color.
Oh.
And theoretically, in Fargo season 1, they posit that it's because it makes it easier to see predators in the wild. Because if you're looking for the thing that's different amongst the greenery, then you can see a predator. But then how does that apply to like desert, and Arctic things? But it was cool when they said it in Fargo.
That is like the TV show?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, I've seen the movie and I don't remember that line, but I have
Yes.
not seen the TV show. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Welcome to Movie Baiters with the Farx brothers. I'm Kyle.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Ted.
I said it would
Welcome,
be jolting.
Ted.
It was.
Yeah, wow. You were
And
kidding.
we're here with Abbey Lowenstein. I got it right?
You
Okay.
did.
Yeah,
And I'm
Lowenstein.
throwing to you for the first... wait. Can I start the
Yeah.
show officially?
Oh, I'll sip.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
That was a Nickism.
What?
Do your Nickism? Yeah.
Wait,
Dad?
what's your name?
On the
This?
first... I love doing lore drop.
Uh-huh.
That was Nick's idea on the first episode.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was up there.
I feel like that's
We
mentioned.
started here, and we've come back here even after being at the man cave
That's-
over the past 2 years.
Is it based in King of the Hill? Is that what it was?
Yeah, King of the Hill, he's a real big
I didn't,
fan.
not consciously, but then again, I didn't remember I even did it, so
Okay,
I guess I
okay.
can't answer that question.
It's all coming together.
I feel the urge to also figure out why things stick or what will stick.
Yeah. Well, okay. Leave it to me. Okay. Our first question of the night usually is our guest comes in with they wear a bunch of different hats. What kind of hats do you wear on set?
Oh, I'm so happy to answer this question with more than one answer now.
Oh, yeah.
Because up until pretty recently, it was actor and writer. And then this past year, I got the opportunity to direct. So now we get to do acting, writing, and directing, which is cool. I think producing is also like a bucket to like fit under. So, and I also do that. So I guess four.
And you've been acting the longest, right?
Yeah,
Out of the four?
I've been acting since I was really little, since I was 6.
So
Yeah, and so that has been a part of my life for like a really long time. It'll be almost 30 years.
Wow, 3 years
Yeah.
acting. It's
Isn't that
crazy.
I'm not going
wild?
to do that math.
I know.
It's that
I
much
know.
math.
Well, so I'm gonna be 35. So I guess it'll be 29 years
Yeah.
this year that I've been acting. which
Run
when
for
I-
president. Everyone over 35, I told
That's
to run for
right.
president. Yes.
That's right.
That's like a high school fact you learn that why lose it. And you seem fine. Do it.
Yeah. Right. Right. Thank you.
It's mostly an acting job.
I feel like honestly,
Yeah.
maybe. No, it would all be bad.
What did you act in at 6?
I did. So growing up, so I have 2 sisters. My parents were desperate to get us out of the house.
Oh.
And so every summer we got to participate in this like musical theater camp that took place over like a month and a half or 2 months at a local high school. And they did a junior musical every summer. So that's where I started and then just never, ever stopped.
What do you go to? Like, so you just go to that every year, and then high school, you start acting in high school plays. Is there something in the
Yeah.
middle, church or something, other places, community centers?
I did those summer theater things from when I was 6 until when I was 17.
Oh, wow.
And so in there, I was also doing, because they do shows, like the junior shows, I think you can do them up until you were 18. So they had like a wide range of folks participating in those. But yeah, when I was in middle school, we did plays. And then when I was in high school, we did plays. When I was in college, we did plays. So it never ended.
But you went for public communication, is that correct?
Yeah. So my degree is in communications writ large. Yeah, because I went to school at Eau Claire, and when I went there, my parents did the thing where they were like, Abby, you need to get a job that will give you health insurance. So please, for the love of God. And I was like, okay. So I majored in communications, but then I was definitely one of those kids that like, I spent all my time in the theater department. So the communications TAs and my advisor from that department like never saw me. I did major in it and I got all the credits, but they didn't have a theater minor at Eau Claire when I went. I don't think they do still, but that would have been probably the journey had they had that.
But you were taking, so is there a theater department? Because you're doing theater then,
Yeah,
right?
there is. And there's a really good theater department there. And I was taking theater classes. Like I took directing and I took all the acting classes. And I got to do one act plays. And it was awesome. It was like, and I was the president of the theater club called the UWEC Players. Shout out. No one will be watching, but shout out.
Oh, no, we have a big Eau Claire market.
You do? Yeah, okay. Well, I was like, that'd be great. But yeah, so they do have a theater department. I was super duper involved, but they did not have a minor at that time.
When in college do you make the decision to go to one of the coasts to pursue acting as a profession?
So it was right after I graduated. My dad is from Putnam Valley, New York. So before they passed, which they both passed this year,
Condolences.
Thank you. But both of my dad's mom and his stepdad still lived in Putnam Valley, which is like an hour north of New York City. So it was kind of that thing where I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, this is kind of the right time. Like I'm done with college. I have somewhere to live. The commute into the city is rough. Like there's like a Metro North train that takes you from Westchester County into the city. And I did that every day for a year and a half.
How long was it?
An hour.
Did you read or listen to things?
Listen to things, yeah. So did that, and but yeah, that's why I went, because it was kind of just, it was sort of like if I never do it, I'll always wonder how that would have worked out, and now I know.
How did it work out? I mean, obviously you're in the upper Midwest. We're all upper Midwest filmmakers, but
yeah. Yeah. So I'll say I am so glad that I had the experiences that I had. I went out there and I wanted to act. And I'm so glad that I was kind of naive enough to think that could work out. And I do think that for people it can, even people from small towns, even people from the Midwest. I never want to, have anybody feel like they shouldn't try that. And I was really happy to not kind of know what I know now about the industry out there before I went. And when I was there, I was super lucky to sort of fall into a stage management group. So instead of acting, because I auditioned for an agency that my uncle was a part of, they were like, ooh, you are green, green, green. And I was like, yes, that is true. And I worked with a touring children's theater show for like the first year, and I was doing acting and I was doing like stage management stuff during that. So when that tour ended, I fell into this like stage management group that was working at some pretty big off-Broadway theaters. So I got to be an assistant stage manager and like a production assistant at the Cherry Lane, New York Theater Workshop, Clubbed Thumb, Bard Summerscape, and I got to work on some really cool shows that ended up either going to Broadway or doing really well in the off-Broadway scene. And I met a lot of really cool people during that time. So
What's one you remember going to Broadway?
Oklahoma is
Sweet.
the most recent one that went to Oklahoma, or that went to Broadway. That Oklahoma production was one that I worked on at Bard Summerscape when I was doing stage management stuff.
And you said something there where like they could tell you were very green. How do you now know that you were very green in this circumstance? Because I'm not sure I would know. I've never gone that. Tried to
Yeah,
act
I
really
honestly
close.
don't know what like the tell was.
Yeah.
I think there's probably stuff that I may not even think of now, like the way that you enter the room, like what
Wow,
your what your stapled headshot and resume thing looks like how you introduce yourself. I bet that if you go to like Tisch or like, NYU or Juilliard or any of the places where they were casting out of, they probably teach you a way to do that I just like did not know and still would not know.
I do know some Tisch people, so I'm gonna have to ask that.
Yeah,
now.
ask them if they like, because I'm
know if I
sure
know
you get like
actors.
auditions training, but that and probably just like, I don't know. I think when you perceive people in the world, like you don't always know like where they come from, but I think you get like a sense of just like how someone carries themselves. And I bet I carried myself differently than some of those other kids, for good or bad or neutral. Yeah.
I'm trying to pivot to you more to.
Oh, what?
So,
What was her name this time? I forget.
For the first Ted, it'll be
Ted?
something different in the other ones. Yeah.
Any questions, Ted?
I'll jump in if I think of something.
I was pivoting to you, Kirkland Farx,
All right.
because you said you usually have. See, just so and this will probably stay in here.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that I'll sometimes ask too many questions, so I'm trying to pivot to him.
Yeah.
but he
Okay, I'm
immediately
gonna make
pivoted to
direct
him.
Kirk.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make
contact?
direct eye contact.
Over
Linking?
eye contact with Kirk here.
Uh,
This is your big moment because you told me
okay.
you always have something.
I am
We talked
drawing a
about this in the
blank.
pre-meeting.
I have performance issues. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
No, yeah. How long were you in New York for?
It's like 4 years.
Uh-huh.
It was a little. The exit from New York was very dramatic, which aligns with my life as a very dramatic person. There was an electrical fire in the
Whoa.
apartment below me, and it went up, and I was living with like 4 different people, and only my room got completely annihilated by this fire.
Oh, boy.
It was like all my roommate stuff was like totally fine. It was my room and the kitchen. The firefighters like came up a ladder and they broke all my windows and stuff in.
Wow.
I was like, you couldn't have gone out with the glass, no. But obviously that was like not their concern. So all my stuff got destroyed, and it's really hard, especially when you're like kind of barely making it. It's very hard to recover from something like that. And people were super generous. If other things had maybe been going a little bit better generally, I maybe would have been able to stay, but it was kind of it was time.
Like a sign
yeah.
almost? Wow.
Between that, yeah, it was rough.
It's terrifying.
you don't watch a lot of movies, but have you seen Marty Supreme?
No.
I'm not going to tell you why, but at some point it may behoove you. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but it's nothing to do with fire, though.
Yeah, but it's similar.
It's like, oh,
yeah.
Something happens.
Something happens that's a similar type, like apartment type situation. I'm not going to say anymore.
Okay. All right.
You might empathize with it. That was
Empathize with it? Really?
Empathize. Because empathy is when you've like experienced something, so then you can, I have the same feelings. I can estimate what your feelings would be like. I don't know. I'm mansplaining empathy to my brother.
Yeah, thanks.
Were you there for when the fire or
Was
were
happening?
No, I was
thank
not.
God.
So you
Yeah,
come
so
home and-
actually none of us. So, and I wonder if it's like good or bad, because I feel like if any of us were home, maybe someone would have called like 911 sooner. But all of us were young and living our lives, and no one was at
New
home.
York.
And so we all kind of found out. I got a text message from my roommate at the time, and it was a picture of a ladder going through my window, and I was like, interesting. It was so bad that the Red Cross dropped off like cards, like Visa cards.
Whoa.
It was like a total loss of like one huge section of the building. They dropped them off for us and the people below and above.
Wow.
It was
I'm really sorry
wild.
that happened to you.
Thank you. Sometimes I forget that it happened, and then I'll like bring it up. Like I realized two of my best friends did not know that this occurred in my life until like 2 days ago. We were in the car and we were talking about just like lived experiences. I was like, my apartment burned down. They're like, what happened?
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
It's like, what's the craziest thing that happened to you instead of what's the worst thing you've done?
Yeah.
Okay, so now how do you go from that to coming back to Minnesota and then so A there, B here, C Oxford Comma.
I know.
How can you give me A, B?
Yes, I can for sure. So I moved back home after I left New York. And I had a lot of stuff to figure out. Like, so I shared with you when we were talking about like beverages, and I hope this is okay to like talk about on the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm 8 years sober.
Congratulations.
Thank you. A big part of the second half of the reason to leave New York had a lot to do with where I was in terms of my addiction, like at that time. So we had hit like a really low point. The fire certainly didn't help any of that.
Yeah.
So I am really grateful. I don't remember the phone call that I made to my mom, but I must have made a pretty alarming phone call. And because I've got a great family, she was on a plane the next day and she kind of scooped me up and took me back home. So that kind of started this journey. I lived at home, and it took me a really long time, like mentally and physically, to get back to a place where I could like honestly like rejoin society. I was in really bad shape when I came home. And you know, when I came home, I was still like drinking in secret. I had to that was like, we were starting from like -10. So
Your building burned down, and one of the most stressful things that happened, which is moving.
It's true. So like little by little, when I was home, like I sort of like built myself back up with help from my family. Like I started going to AA, which ended up being a disaster, which I don't mean to say AA works for some people. It just like doesn't work for everybody.
Is it because of the higher power thing?
It is a little bit because of that, but it's also because I'm a woman, and AA is built around, it was written in like the 20s, 30s, the big book, Bill W., the whole thing.
Yeah, like during the Prohibition movement.
Yeah, it was written a really long time ago when alcoholism was maybe thought of as like a man's disease. And they haven't really updated the literature. So every time you read it, you're just like, if you're me and already prone to rigid thinking, it's really hard to like get around some of that language. So I did eventually, we'll get there. I found something that worked for me.
What's rigid thinking?
You stole my question.
Rigid thinking.
No, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm accused of this by my doctor. No.
So rigid thinking is something that I learned from my therapist, and it means, so like so some people are really flexible. Like when they're presented with new ideas, they can input and sort of like add that idea to their future life really easily. I have always been a person, and I don't know if it's like a self-protection thing or what it is, but like it takes me a minute to receive new information and put it into my like life moving forward. And so if I already have an idea that the big book is sexist and misogynistic, it's going to take me a really long time to look past language stuff, like the little things, to see the bigger picture, which eventually, like after these like many years of talking with people who do go through that program and are really successful in it, I can now much more easily see the bigger picture, but it takes me a while. So that's what rigid thinking is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then you want to so you found something that worked.
Yeah. So anyway, moved back to La Crosse. I'm there. I reconnect with someone who I had been dating in high school, who is now my husband, and he lived here.
Mr. Lowenstein?
Mr. Schmoker. I did not take his last name.
Because you're an actress.
That, and I just like wasn't, that actually was like never gonna be part of my plan. I think no matter whether or not I was an actor or actress or not, I never know. It's fine.
Sorry to assume. I
No,
need to
no,
not
no, that's okay.
Check my preconceived notions.
That's okay. I just, I think it has something to do with like we only have girls in the family, and my sister is married, and she took her husband's last name, and I was just kind of like, well, I'd like to, well, I don't know. Keep mine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, the paperwork, much easier.
Right. Yeah. It saves some money.
So, okay, he was already living here. We reconnected, we started dating, and he was like, oh, Minneapolis is a great place to live. And so after about a year of us doing long distance, I moved up here because I found a job and I wanted to be closer to him. And so that, I think it was like a year or so after I'd moved back home, and then I was up here. Moving up here triggered a really intense relapse. So I was in a terrible place again for like another year and a half. And the reason that is significant is because finding Oxford Comma was the beginning of the end of like that part of my life. So I auditioned for Vanessa for a play, and it was like I'd been in like such a bad place. I was like, and my boyfriend at the time, now husband, was like, I think, there's a piece of your life that's like missing. And because I stopped acting for like the 2.5 years that I was like really going through it and trying to like wrestle with sobriety and figure out like how I was going to make that work long term. And I didn't even realize like how much I missed it until I auditioned for Vanessa. And she was like, she still to this day, like wrote me the kindest email that was like, hey, you're not right for this part, but I would really love to work with you in the future. And I was like, man, everyone says that, and I had never really experienced anyone following through. But it was really like a boost for me. And after that audition, I auditioned for other stuff that I didn't get. But then I think it was like not even a year later, she reached out and was like, hey, have you ever done film? I'm doing this short film. It's going to be a oneer. I think you'd be great for it. And it was a line of verse.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was my first, like, outside of college sort of like independent film set that I had ever been on. And that really kicked off what has been a really awesome collaborative relationship for the last 5 or almost 6 years now.
I remember seeing that at Z-Fest. What year was that? You and Stecker.
Had to have been five years ago at least.
Okay, so it was like it was like the pre-COVID year?
It was during COVID, but it was like it was like during a break. It was like March
2021.
Yeah.
That year.
And
okay.
It must have been. Yeah, it must have been.
All right.
Yeah.
And that brings us to this year, with obviously Z-Fest is no more.
I know. I know.
But
Wild.
North Star, what?
That's wild. It's no more. It's crazy.
16 years, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16, sweet 16. You made that. And now we have North Star Film Festival.
Yeah.
And you have 3 projects.
Yeah. So actually 4.
Excuse
3,
me.
I know. The 4th one I'm in. And it's the one that Michael Ruiz wrote. And
I know him. I like
Mike. I do too. So I'm really excited about that one. So I have 4 total that I was in 5 because I'm in Morpheus, which was the one that Holly Burr wrote and directed. So 5.
And she's a redhead now?
She is. It looks
hell are you
so
doing,
good.
Holly?
Have you seen it?
I've seen pictures. I'll see her.
She looks incredible.
I only see her at Z, or what was now be North Star Film
like
Festival, the once a year, and the one time she dropped off an ornament she got nominated for at my house. Those are the only times I ever see Holly.
Yeah, but she is redhead now. If she's still a redhead, if
Holly,
if it's maintained, we don't know.
And this will come out in May. She could change her hair by then.
That's
she could be
true.
a redhead. Yeah. So if you see Holly, she's not redheaded. We're sorry.
We're sorry.
So you acted in 2, but there's 3 that are in the collective, as you guys consider yourselves.
Yeah. So So we have Puppy Love, and I did Hair for the first time.
Oh, yeah,
on the dog?
On the dogs. No. Oh my gosh, that would actually have been super, super great. And I had 2 poodles. My 2 dogs are in puppy love, and so I could have really done something with that.
Do you have 2 poodles?
They're golden doodles, but I call them my poodles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister has a golden doodle. You have 2 though.
I have 2.
They're very smart. What do you do to occupy their minds?
We have to take them to the park every single day. Like, so we don't really miss that. We can't miss a park day. Otherwise it's complete chaos.
Yeah,
But
like children.
because we have 2, they occupy themselves a lot. So there are pros and cons to that. It's very loud in my house at very inconvenient times because they want to like wrestle, but it also takes a lot of pressure off. When we had Dill is 6, and so we got Earl last year. So we had just one for 5 years, and that was a lot of work.
Is Dill in Look Back and Laugh?
Yeah.
Is that Dill as a puppy?
Yeah, she was 1 or 2 maybe when we filmed that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she's a baby.
I did watch that again today because I think when it premiered, my family might have been shuffling out because the 1-year-old was 1.
Yeah.
And not due to the content of your movie. It was,
I was gonna say, don't blame your kids, Cal.
They were there to see the movie the 2-year-old was in.
Yes,
And then it was like, well, this isn't going to work.
Yes, that makes
Hilarious.
sense.
The older one mooned the photographer, and we didn't know till
Mooned?
pictures came out. You can still find them on the Z.
so funny.
Wow.
Were you like,
Well,
okay, here we go. That's
I sent it to family.
I love
Nice.
that.
Like, it's funny to send to my mom. Look what she did. I didn't tell her to do that, obviously.
The free spirit.
I blame the photographer.
Yeah. Oh no.
Who's now in jail?
Yeah, wow. It's too dark. Go on.
Fair. So Puppy Love you did hair on, but the
Yep.
other one you directed and wrote. You directed one and then wrote one. Is that
Yep.
how this
So
works?
I co-directed Life Trials, which is a script that my friend James wrote, and then I wrote the movie that I also acted, or the film that I also acted in, which is called Everything. And then there's Morpheus, and I'm an extra in Morpheus, and I helped out on set the day that I was there. And then, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to remember the one that I'm in that Michael wrote. And
Well, you
Michael,
worked on that. Do
Please
you wanna-
forgive me.
Michael, which one? Which
Oh,
one?
Michael. Oh, sorry, not Michael
Yeah.
Reeves one, but that's one of the 5. Whereas you
It starts with a C. I know it starts with a C.
starts with a C.
Everybody's still looking it up. I don't know.
Yeah, you can look it up on the website now.
Yes,
You were in Silly Little Wounds,
I was.
and you're writing a feature now.
No, I'm current. Wait, who's like telling my business? I'm writing a short right
Okay.
now.
You're
Yeah.
writing a short for what? Just for festivals or for next year's North Star? Or?
I'm writing a short for Vanessa's mom specifically.
Wow, all right.
You're
No pressure.
writing a short for
No
Vanessa's mom to be in?
Be in.
Oh,
Okay,
Yes.
well, Vanessa's mom, famous English teacher, who is the reason that it's called the Oxford Comma Film Cooperative. See, I listen, Vanessa.
Yes.
What more can you say?
Nothing more. I'm so excited about it, but
Why'd she ask you to write it? Why isn't she writing it?
she did not ask me to write it.
Oh, you're writing it because you wanted to.
Because you wanted
Correct.
to- oh,
Legit. No.
How
I
have
had an
you-
idea. I had an idea for a film, and it is the one that I'm writing. And I brought it to Vanessa, and we were talking about who, like, dream cast, like who would be in whatever roles. And I mentioned that there's a role for and like an older lady, and
Hey, she's as young as she wants to
exactly.
be. Vanessa's mom.
Exactly. And this was, and so that conversation got started. And once that seed got like planted, I was like, oh, I hadn't started writing it yet. And I think it was like that night after we had talked about this potentially being for Vanessa's mom, I was like,
Start writing.
we have to get this done. Because that prospect
Nice.
is very exciting to me.
Yeah.
When do you think you'll shoot this one?
I don't know. We have a really busy summer planned with Oxford Comma projects, and then also I have the opportunity to direct a show for Minnesota Fringe Festival, a play. So
What is it?
Currently untitled, working through that process right now.
Wait, so you submitted and got in?
I did not submit.
Okay.
My friend who wrote it submitted, got in.
Do you want to say who that is?
His name is Nick. He's new. His name is Nick Bakura. He is here from Seattle.
Wow.
He just, I think he got here during during Operation Metro Surge.
I've
That's
heard of
like
it.
when he got here.
Sure.
Like that
Tough
week.
time, yeah.
And we got the opportunity to do 12th Night with Zephyr Theater together. And so that's where we met. And he's a really excellent writer, really funny stand-up. And he asked me to direct his show.
So you were starring in something with him acting, and he said, well, you've stage managed before, as you know, you've gotten things on Broadway. And so he knew all that. And then he was like, how does he go from I'm acting with you to direct this thing?
I can't exactly remember how the conversation went. We were acting together, but then when we started rehearsals for 12th Night, I was in post-production for all of the films that we had done. And so I would come to rehearsal and everyone would be like, how are you? And I'd be like, I'm going to perish because I've had 7 meetings today. And like I was just pretty overwhelmed. But when they would hear me talk about film stuff, he specifically was really interested in it. And he was just like, oh, like, tell me more. And so I had told him that I had just directed a film. And I think that's probably how that connection got made.
I like it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
But Oxford Film Cooperative is working on a feature for 2027, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's I think Vanessa already talked about it on the show. So I guess let's see. Can I just try
Do you
to?
remember the title?
No, I don't think you guys have announced, right?
I don't think that they have. Yeah.
It's about someone painting pictures and there's like a murder mystery or something like that. Is that the one?
That is the one.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
It's in the Vanessa episode.
Yeah.
You can go back to the Silly Little Wounds. I think it's the interview episode. Find it there. Vanessa's also on the weapons episode for all the things we reference.
But Aaron Pekka is the writer for
Yes.
that one.
Aaron, which Vanessa did say. Pekka, we know you wrote it.
Yeah.
She beat us when we were both nominated that year, 2023. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was either 3 women and 2 men or 4 women and 1 man nominated. And I was like, I cannot win this because it was like...
Like, does this get bad for you?
Yeah, and Aaron won that year. But you were nominated for, I said it earlier, Look Back and Laugh.
Yeah. Was that 2023? Or was that earlier? No, that might have been 2023.
March 2023, yeah, because I remember how that year then went. There were, and it was an historic year of labor action.
Oh.
And so, I watched the news. I want to shave just a little bit of the peach as much as I can since we already covered Silly Little Wounds, a bunch.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Because you have to be very fine because it's got very fine hairs.
On a peach?
Calm down.
I never heard that before.
Kirk.
The question is the intimate scene that you have, where you display your character's vulnerability is what you consider to be the intimate scene in Silly Little Wounds, correct? We're at the end in the hotel room when actor Nate, I don't remember his character's name. Is his actor name Nate?
No, his actor name is Brandon.
Is his character name Nate?
His name is Nate.
In the movie, okay, and your name is Kate in the movie.
Yeah.
Kate and Nate. And Vanessa, come on.
So his name is Brandon. Why am I saying Brendan? His name is Brandon in the movie. His real name is Nate.
Okay.
So Brandon and Kate are in a hotel room together.
Got it. Thank you so much. That helps.
Is this spoilers for Silly Little Wounds? Or?
People, they've seen it by now.
Hopefully you've seen it by now, and if you haven't,
I
Let's go watch it.
somehow.
what I'm curious about is you think that's your most intimate scene. I assume it's because your character is the most vulnerable, or what? Could you tell me why?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Whenever people would ask about that, and I think it actually even came up at Twin Cities Film Fest, the post like when we were up at the front, they were talking about
Kirk
that.
was there.
Yeah. And they were like, your scenes are like, there's this really vulnerable scene, and in my head it just popped up the scene between Kate and Brandon, but it turns out everyone was talking about like the mirror scene. I think that's probably for a few reasons. Out of left field, I was on swim team for a really long time, so like being not clothed is not something that really kind of occurs to me as super vulnerable. I think in ways that like people who have not really done like sports like that.
I wore a jammer. I was captain of my swim team until I moved to basketball team.
Like I feel like it's just like a different thing when you spend your whole like life doing stuff like that, being in your undies kind of doesn't clock in the same way. So I think that's like part of it.
Yeah.
And then the other part is the scene between Kate and Brandon. The scene between Kate and Brandon is, I think there's just a lot in there. And working with Nate to get to where we eventually got did take a lot of vulnerability from both of us. And so that's kind of why that's the one that comes up for me.
I act, but I feel like as a person emotionally stunted.
Really? You
I'm
think so?
thinking, no, let me finish. There's a different word I'm not allowed to say. It's the R word. But
Okay.
when you say you do the so this question sounds.
The R word. Sorry.
It's getting away with it, like the Louis C.K. joke for a different one. But I'm not trying to seem dumb. I think I actually don't understand. What is the work you're describing? How do you do work to get into a scene where you're like, essentially your character cries?
You go, so for me, it's different, I think, for everybody.
Yeah, and that's why you're here as the interviewer.
Yes. I think, so the way that for me, and especially with film, because you don't have the opportunity to rehearse over and over and over again like you do for a play, the work happens really, really fast, and it involves just the repetition of the words. And this is what happens for me, like until you find the truth in them. And if the truth ends up being sad, then you cry. If the truth ends up being mad, you are angry. If like whatever it ends up being is the emotion that is supposed to come out of that. But the work is the repetition and the being in that space with someone and kind of like locking in and not letting them go and not letting go and then trusting each other. And it all happens in like 4 to 5 hours, like depending on how long the scene is. And it doesn't stop, right? Because you have to get all of the coverage in the short amount of time that you have to do the thing. But that's
then
the work.
You're going back to the same emotion, right?
You try, right?
Okay.
But not all, for me, definitely not always. I think better actors probably. But for me, something always changes no matter what in the take. I've never done a take the exact same way twice. So sorry to everybody.
Well, now you've been involved in post as a
Well, I would
director.
say maybe we need to write more emotional scenes for you, Cal.
No.
Well, maybe. No? I don't know. I find it, I really enjoy that part of the process. Curious to think, so when you say you find, or curious to know, like you go back to the same emotion every time, that's your process.
Yeah, like, this is what, like, as we've already discussed in the debate people have heard before this, I'm sort of annoyed that the director wouldn't look at the monitor and instead look at the actors. Like, that's a real, that's a theater type approach when like all that matters is what's in the camera. And like, I can understand like woo, I'm having a connection, soul, all that. But what matters is what's in the camera. And so like, I think of Sandra Bullock accepting her Oscar and going, "Thanks for using that take where dust got in my eye and it looked like I was about to cry. I was just itchy. Goodbye."
Sure.
And like, who cares?
Sure.
But I like hearing like, it sounds like you really meant that and that you actually do that. And that sounds like a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's where I get the joy from though, right?
Oh.
So that is why the reason that I do that.
Well, that's lovely.
So you're saying you don't have any joy in acting?
I don't know. Like, I desperately seek joy. I enjoy doing these, and I wanted to. I know you got the last question, but can I do my second to last question?
Yeah, go ahead.
What would be your like love song or poem to millennials?
Wow.
Because that's the theme of
Absolute
theme. You know why?
So like an actual song?
Just however you want to interpret the question. It's what Aaron Pekka said about Silly Little Wounds that Vanessa used.
That it was a love song?
It's a love song or
love song
poem to the millennials. Yeah.
Or love letter, do you mean?
Yeah, that was a love letter, yeah.
Thank you.
You remember so much, and
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
So what would mine be?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question.
I'm very good at this.
Yeah. I feel like, I think maybe I'll just talk about like where I am in life as a millennial and like my philosophy moving forward. So as a millennial, I guess my love song to other millennials is that my biggest goal, especially in this like artistic community that we all inhabit, is to bring people up together as like a group, right? So having the opportunities to like work with new people, expand our horizons, like make connections, and then say people's names in rooms where that would matter to bring everybody up in these ways so that we can all continue to do the things that we like love, I guess, together. So that would be my love song to like our group. Because I do think as millennials, we're in this stage of our lives like where we're not, I wouldn't say we're not starving artists, but like we're, especially in like this community, most of us have other sources of income. Others of us like have like we're doing other things to like build our lives, and then we also are trying to create together. So maybe just like giving ourselves like grace and more opportunity to like do those things together would be that would be my love song, I guess.
Wow, I think that's really nice. Well, our last question of the night is, who would you recommend we reach out to be on this show?
Okay, so I have a list.
Oh, nice.
And yeah,
And every one of you has to come on.
every single one. So Marissa Moeller is well, you know.
She's one of you main stars in Silly Little Wounds, and she stars as your co-star in the movie you directed, the first one.
Life Trials.
Oh, that one. But I was thinking of your older one.
Look Back and Laugh.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah?
I scrolled to the next part of the.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Yes, Marissa. We know you are.
So Aaron Brown, Luke Oline Junk.
Luke's booked for later in the month.
Okay, good.
Yes. Aaron Brown.
Bettina Davis.
Sorry?
Bettina Davis.
Bettina, I emailed you twice.
Call her out on it. All right.
Ebony Ramquist.
I know her, but I haven't asked her, so okay.
And have you had Erin Pekka on?
She's in the mix for something we're thinking about doing.
Okay, good.
Yes. Which you maybe know, Erin. I don't know.
Yeah, those are my thoughts.
That was a great list. Thank you for coming prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN. Join us next time for another debate.